Hello, I'm Dr. Jerome Kaufman, retired physician. The Physician of the Year award was first given in 1979 to pediatrician George Eckhart. Its purpose is to recognize sustained performance over the years in providing outstanding care to patients. The recipient is a physician who is held in highest regard by his or her colleagues for their clinical abilities and for service to their colleagues and patients. The award is a Lifetime Achievement Award and is given to one who serves as a role model to others. In 1994, this honor was bestowed upon Dr. Donald Kaufman, my son. In 2002, the award was renamed the Donald Kaufman Physician of the Year Award in his memory. I and my family, of course including Don's family, are so very grateful to you, the Kaiser Permanente organization, for all that you have done that keeps the memory of Don going strong. This is a tribute to Don, but even more, it's an inspiration to watch your annual award winners demonstrate the magnitude of his or her contribution to this organization, and to watch their growth toward that stellar plane where Don's own accomplishments reside. Thank you.
Yeah, the first time I met Louis was as a new chief in the chief's meeting. There was a very vocal adult and family medicine physician named Louis Edelson, who always gave a lot of color to our meetings. He really was a huge patient advocate in those meetings and really appreciate what he's done for our organization.
I do remember the first time I saw him that I was actually wondering if he was a medical student. He would come in with his short white coat, and I would wonder, is he an older student starting his medical career late?
I was working at Point Eden. I don't think a lot of new doctors remember where that is, but that's where I started. He was my mentor, so he took me to lunch first time I met him. Very solid doc, very brilliant in many ways. I think he just does everything well. Hard to copy that.
I met Louis for the first time when I came to interview back in 2009. That's when I first started my career out here at Kaiser, and I learned that Louis was Associate Chief of Medicine, and he looked like he was pretty happy. He was having a good time doing the work he was doing, and from what I could tell, his coworkers as well as his patients really respected him.
So I would describe Louis as the consummate Permanente physician. He's mission-driven, he's compassionate, and he cares deeply about his patients and his colleagues. In fact, Louis probably could have retired several years ago, but he stays with the group because he's mentoring the next generations of Permanente physicians.
Louis and I have shared many patients over the years, and universally, his patients love him.
The advices he gives me as a father figure to me, and I really appreciate that. So I feel like he's looking out for me.
I think an example of the good work that Louis does has been in some of our collaborative visits. Louis and I have seen several pain patients, and as some of you may know, he has a pretty big panel of patients. Louis has never shied away from handling these patients and handling them with respect. We've seen patients together, and although this can be challenging, he takes these challenges head on.
Louis is incredibly transparent, and he'll always tell you what he's thinking. So I know that if I ever want the straight scoop, I head to the corner office on the 3rd floor of San Leandro.
So occasionally I'll see Louis on the BART coming to work. And even when he's not at work, he's always thinking about good suggestions on how to make the organization better, and I really take those to heart.
We usually do these offsites. We always have to provide the entertainment, and one of them we did skits, and the skit we came up with was, back at the time, it was about the auto analyzer. So we created this skit where the auto analyzer was a Darth Vader-like character, and the person who comes to the rescue is our very own Louis, also in his short white coat, and he came in with his lightsaber and saved the day. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's not unlike how he normally is. He normally comes in and saves the day for us in the office as well.
There was one time when we moved to San Leandro, the computer was not working. So he was walking by our offices and he says, I went to MIT, I know how to fix it. So he crawls under the desk, unplugs the computer, plugs back in, and voila, it starts working again. What a genius idea that is.
A random day, Lewis came up to me and asked me if I was going to Outside Lands, which is a music festival in San Francisco, for those of you who didn't know. And the last person I would expect to go to Outside Lands would be Lewis. But believe it or not, I saw him there and we had a really good time. So not only does Lewis know how to be a good doctor, a good mentor, and a leader, he also knows how to have a good time while he's doing that.
I had a baby about 3 years ago, so he was my chief at that time. So I came back from maternity leave. I was in a conference trying to stay awake. And he later catches me in the office and says, "Take a nap. Don't come to the conference." And he was my boss at the time. Most people want to make you work more and more, but he actually says, "Take a nap." Well, that's how he is. He's a wonderful human being, caring.
Lewis, I think the one thing that people don't know about you that's more personal than professional is I think you're hilarious. And although people seem to see you as stoic and maybe just a little serious, I think your real friends know you're really funny as well.
Well, Lewis has worked for TPMG for almost 35 years, and his impact has been he's created a legacy of exceptional patient care experience, but also a legacy of all the physicians that come into Hayward, have come into San Leandro, and all the mentorship he's provided them over time.
Well, I think the greatest impact he had was when he opened up San Leandro. Nearly an impossible challenge to open up our adult and family medicine department in San Leandro, yet he seemed to do it with ease. It wasn't until I replaced him as chief that I found out he was basically doing the job of like 3 or 4 people, and he did it so easily. It was obvious that he cared deeply for the department, but what was amazing was that he cared probably even more deeply for each individual person, and I'm still trying to learn from that every day and try to emulate that as much as I can. But, you know, Lewis is not somebody easily copied or replaced.
He's very cool and calm, even in a storm. And I don't know how he does it, but he kind of keeps us leveled when we hit crisis.
Lewis's impact on me is that he's provided tremendous organizational history and really detailed the wonderful work that our physicians and staff have done over the years and our opportunities moving forward.
So some of the best advice I got from Lewis was to understand patient as a whole person, including their family and the community for which they live.
He taught me to advocate for the patients. Sometimes patient has a very little voice, and I think he taught me to listen to them and try to advocate on their side and speak up for them.
Every physician that I've met has only had good things to say about Lewis, and I really not only respect him for the physician he is, I admire him for the physician he is.
He really deserves the Kaufman Award because of everything he's done, not just the impact on the department, but for all of Kaiser. He really just knew how to make people feel important and cared for.
I'd just say, why doesn't he deserve it? He's a model, he's a leader, he's a great physician. The patients we manage together, that not only do they respect him, they admire him, and they treat him like he's family.
I would say the one word I'd describe Lewis is beloved.
Lewis is thoughtful.
Lewis, you are inspiring.
Congratulations, Lewis. I could think of no finer person to win the Kaufman Award for this year.
Congratulations, Lewis, on winning the Kaufman Award. I can't think of anybody who's more deserving.
Lewis, congratulations. Well deserved. I think you deserved this award many, many years ago.
Lewis, I'm so proud of you, everything you've accomplished. Today, getting this award, another big accomplishment. I guess we gotta go to Outside Lands and celebrate this one too. So for you, buddy, cheers.